Good evening, and I'm just gonna explain why I started this channel. Okay, I started this channel because there are so many YouTubers out there claiming things that are unreal, that will not happen. You are not gonna power your whole house with 8 solar panels. I had a guy tell me, "Oh, just quit trolling my channel." Well, I made one comment on his channel, and then we went back and forth a couple times. He was claiming that his 3,000 watt inverter with 8 solar panels was enough to power a house. Well, I have 56 solar panels up right now, and 32 of them are 370 watts, and 24 of them are 330 watts. And this is my power bill. Okay, says 1023. So let's view bills. Okay. And if you can see here, it says previous reading 3237, current reading 3237. I used no power last month. This is the first month that I have used no power. Okay, here's my yearly usage, and this is a lot different than you go back before I put in solar, my yearly usage. Okay, and I haven't had the solar assistant in long enough to have long yearly totals. I just put this in February or something. But you go here, 00 on the, this is the grid where right here's the grid, if you can see where my cursor is. And it's showing 00, it goes back like 30 days. So you go back 12 months, and then you see grid usage here. Okay, and this is about when I put it in. So I was using the grid, and I was trying to get off of the grid. But this is about when I got my extra battery. I got 20 more kilowatts of battery storage at this time. So I have 40 kilowatts hooked up right now, and I'm gonna have 50 kilowatts of battery storage hooked up. But these people making claims in 50 kilowatts of battery storage does not mean you have 50 kilowatts usable. That means you have about 37.5 kilowatts usable. My system would switch me back to the grid at 25 kilowatts. And that's why we have these numbers here. You can see how I've used from the grid, and you notice that that's below 20 kilowatts each month. So, and that's kilowatts per day, average kilowatt day. I don't know if you can read that, but in the smaller print there, that's average kilowatt per day. And that's below 20. So after I put in the higher battery storage, I should be covering all of my usage. And these people, and I've got 15,000 watts of inverter power. I've got 20,000 watts of solar input. And that's what it takes to get your house off of grid. Okay, is those numbers. I mean, and I might not have had to do the 20,000 watts of solar input, but then on the cloudy days, I'm still gonna end up having to pull power from the grid. That's why I put in the extra, I had 12,000 watts. And what happens is when you're only producing 10, 15, 20% of your solar capacity, then you're going to run out of battery. And you can sit there and watch your battery drop, you know, and it'd be like, oh, it only made it up to 80% today. Then the next day it only made it up to 60%, and then you're swapping over and using power off the grid. These people that keep saying this about these 3,000 watt or 5,000 watt systems being enough, well, they're lying. And I just wanted to, the reason why I started doing the videos is because of people that were making claims that were not going to happen. It's, you know, here in the red is my grid usage. And this is only since February. Okay. And here we are, we've had, I don't know, a month and a half of no grid usage. Okay. And that's because of the extra battery storage and the extra solar panels I put up. I put up another 8,000 watts of solar panels, and I added another 20 kilowatts of battery storage. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. And these people making these claims, okay, you can go back and look at your bill on your, this is my power bill, Pacific Power. You can go back and look at your bill. And I used to have bills that were 60, 70 kilowatt hours on a daily average, you know. And that's how you determine how much solar you actually need. And this is only showing you what I pulled from the grid with the 12,000 watts of solar and 20,000 or 20 kilowatt of battery storage, right? And I still was using this much off the grid. So, and you have to remember, you use the power, the peak power usage for your home, and this is everyone's home, is between 5 and 9 p.m. And that's also when you're going to pay the premium. So if you don't have battery storage and you have an underpowered system like that, your numbers are going to be higher, much higher than this. I had a guy, he's only got 3,000 watts of solar, and he's saying it's a whole power or whole home system. And those people, they kind of upset me. I'm trying to show a whole home system and doing it and trying to give you guys the information that I have, that I believe is accurate. Okay. I don't, you know, and there are times I was using over 7,000 watts at, what is that? Somewhere around 8 p.m. yesterday. I was using, or actually 7:10 p.m. I was using 7,000 watts yesterday. And that's the AC and the car and stuff like that. And the car is not here, so this is not the car here. Okay? So there are times when you have higher usage. My wife has a car at work. You know, and here we are here, and this is all like AC and stuff is what this is. Okay, I turned the AC off maybe a half hour, an hour ago, but it's starting to warm up again, so we'll turn it back on. And I was getting kind of cold in the house, but yeah, that's your AC usage over here, and it's I mean, we're at 100% battery, you know, this works good. But I have 15,000 watts of inverters hooked up. And I have a fourth inverter that is doing battery charge only. This is a, you know, it's a pretty powerful system. But you have to have a good amount of power coming in to power your house and your car. And these people saying 3,000 and 5,000 watt systems is good, they're not really being honest. Now, when I put this in with the 5000 ES inverters, they were one of the few that allowed you to put in the 450 volts coming in from your solar panels. And there are a couple other inverters out there, and Signature Solar has some, the EG4 inverters that are 6500 watt inverters, and 2 of those will do 13,000 watts. Now that might be enough power, and that might end up being a little bit cheaper than this one, and you would not have to use the transformer. And I would if I was to put in a new system today here in the US, I would seriously look at those inverters, just so you know. 2 of those inverters might be plenty, and then you could still buy a third one as a backup and use it as, like, I have a inverter out there right now that's only battery charge only. You could still put a third one out there, have it as battery charge only, and then you have a spare inverter if something happens to one of those 2 inverters. It's just a little bug to put in your ear. But 13,000 watts is a lot closer to running a whole house than 3 or 5,000. And make sure you get enough solar panels. I would buy at least 1 pallet of solar panels. I don't, you know, if you're gonna hope to do your whole home, do at least 1 pallet of solar panels. I have 2 pallets out there. Actually, I have a little bit more than 2 pallets of solar panels. So that's just my take. You see these videos of people saying that these small systems will power your house. Well, it's more like they might power your RV or give you 120 out of the cabin or something. They're not going to power your house. They're not going to run your well. I have a well, you know, I don't know. Anyways, I can power everything. I can power my AC, I can power my well, I can power all of these bedrooms. I have 8 heaters in this house. I can power all of that. And that's the thing, you know. So make sure you look and make sure that you see what you're using on your power bill. And see if you can actually put in, and you can add up most of the areas. If you're in the North America, is your daylight hours is about 5.5 hours. So you add up the total wattage of the solar panels. So that guy with 8 panels of 380 watts, that's 3,080 watts of solar. And you times that by 5.5. That puts him somewhere around 15,000, you know, watts. Well, 15,000 watts will run a dryer about 3 times. So, you know, just be careful what you're looking at and do your own math. Don't count on me. Every home is different. So, hope for the best for you. I started this channel because people were putting out misinformation. I just had somebody tell me I was trolling his channel when I made a comment that he was saying his 3,000 watt inverter and 8 solar panels is enough to power a house. That's not true. Anyways, please like, comment, and subscribe.